Boy D47 all day for Real AMP. I'm about to pop it off, revisiting as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, the 1972 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League. And so you're not watching this video, you're not missing any crucial rugby league information, watching this video all the way through to the end. So, this time, it's Parramatta's turn to get yet another wooden spoon. We've got 14 wooden spoons altogether, so this is just another one of them. And in 1972, their defence was the particular problem, and that's why they ended up with the wooden spoon, because of their unacceptable defence. So, let's pop it off and get straight into it. And we'll start by saying that in 1972, Parramatta played the usual 22 games for the season, and they managed just 4 wins, had 2 draws, and lost the other 16 games. And the 16 games they lost, a lot of them were by sizable margins. 3 of them, in fact, 3 of them were by huge margins, but most of them were by pretty big margins at the same time. So it makes it very difficult to get out of last place when you're conceding as many points as they were. In attack, they scored 317 points from the 22 games, which is pretty good. But in defence, they conceded a gigantic 585 points, believe it or not. They conceded 585 points in defence. So, given how many points they did concede, it's actually quite surprising that they did get any competition points at all. It's quite surprising that they did have the 4 wins and 2 draws for a total of 10 competition points altogether. Then, the top try scorers, 2 players, got 7 tries each. Bob O'Reilly and John Vincent both got 7 tries for Parramatta in 1972. And the top point scorer, his name was Keith Campbell, who was a pretty good player for them over the years, despite the fact they got the spoon. He got 2 tries and 35 goals, a total of 76 points. Remembering tries used to be 3 points at the time. That's why that's 76 points. And then, so this one's a bit tricky. This one's not a straightforward wooden spoon like the previous few wooden spoon videos I've done. And it's not extremely complicated and baffling and bewildering like the Eastern Suburbs wooden spoons in 1963 and 1966, or a lot of the wooden spoons in the 1930s, 40s and 50s. Something like that, but it's a bit tricky. So we'll just take our time and we'll methodically explain everything that's happened. So, we start off with the most embarrassing moment in 1972. And there's 3 contenders, and I'd like to know your feedback. So drop a comment down below. Which one of these 3 games in 1972 do you think is Parramatta's most embarrassing moment? Either the round 1 game, where they got towed up by South 37 points to 3. The round 4 game, where they got towed up by East 50 points to 12. Or the round 6 game, where they got towed up by Wests and Suburbs 52 points to 10. In my personal opinion, it's the round 4 game when they lost to East 50 points to 12. Why? That intermingles with the moment in the sun. The moment in the sun, believe it or not, is actually the round 2 and round 3 games. So even though 1972 round 1, Parramatta had that big loss to South 37 points to 3, in round 2, they managed a draw with Wests 9-all, and in round 3, they managed a draw with Balmain 28-all. So, with those 2 back-to-back draws, it looked like, okay, maybe there's a bit of promise for the season. Maybe they might have some sort of like slow and gradual improvement as the season goes on, sort of thing. But just as we thought that, all of a sudden, the very next game in round 4, that's when they got funked by East 50 points to 12, and things did not improve for them at any point of the season after that. Then, the only games that Parramatta did win in 1972 took to round 9 just to get their first win. In round 9, they'd beaten fellow strugglers Penrith 19 points to 12. Remembering Penrith weren't playing a whole lot better than them, and Penrith finished in second last in 1972. Just 1 point ahead of them, which we'll get to in a few minutes. In round 14, Parramatta had managed to beat Balmain 25-18. In round 19, Parramatta had managed to beat North 22 points to 6. And then going into the last round, going into round 22, a situation where we saw Penrith in second last place on 11 competition points, who had 5 wins and 1 draw so far at that point. And then we also saw Parramatta in outright last place, who only had the 2 draws and 3 wins I just mentioned, which was 8 competition points. And then even though, in the last round, even though Penrith lost their game to Canterbury 19-12, 1972 round 22, and even though Parramatta got a rare win and beat Newtown 21-11, 1972 round 22, that only meant that Parramatta finished the season on 10 competition points, and Penrith still finished on 11 competition points, so Penrith avoiding the wooden spoon by 1 competition point over arch-rivals Parramatta. So there you go. So that one, not as baffling as some of the others, but also not straightforward either, like a medium sort of wooden spoon, but whether it's easy, medium or hard, we're going to get through all the wooden spoons, 1 wooden spoon at a time. So thank you so much for watching all day, and thank you so much for watching all the way through to the very end, so you didn't miss any crucial rugby league information. And you can scroll through the channel to find hundreds of other essential rugby league information videos. And you can also go over to my second channel, and that's D47's Dad Jokes. And on there, it's a lot of fun, it's very stupid, and it's very frivolous and not serious, and there's a bunch of ridiculous dad jokes over on my other channel, D47's Dad Jokes. But here, on the long form channel, it's serious business at all times. All day for real, on the grind up in this bitch AMP, in this motherfucker for real. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end. D47.